Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox, and in today's video, we're going to go over 5 modifications that I make to my AKs that you may want to consider making for yourself. The 5th one, I don't think has ever been seen on YouTube before. So stick around for that. And as with everything, you know, chew the meat, spit out the bones, take what you can use, discard the rest. All right, stick around. Cue the intro. Wait, stop. Some people might consider this intro to contain porn. I wouldn't say it was porn exactly. Probably more like light porn. Not even that. Burlesque. More like burlesque. So with that in mind, stick around. Cue the intro. Ba 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 boo doo 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 ba ba doo 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 doo. All right, welcome back. Let me get this camera angle right. You know, I've had to shoot this 3 times. It's getting a little old for me. All right, hey, AKs. It's a fine weapon. Lots of people use them. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you know, we're so rich here in America, people just love to turn their AKs into M4s, right? You know, Barbies for men, right? I want to accessorize it. Well, today I feel like putting this on it, and then I want to put this on it. And hey, guys, you don't have to do that. This thing works just great, just like it is. And you can literally take these out of the box. You can take them out of the mud and work them pretty good. With that in mind, there are a couple things I do to mine. The first modification I ever made was right here on the mag release paddle, if you will. It's a little sharp for my delicate hands, and so I put a piece of rubber tubing on there, and it just makes it, you know, not as horrible on my hands. Now, I know that you internet ninja, you know, AK47 operators, because I've seen the YouTube videos, you're wondering if that'll work with the tactical emergency magazine change, you know, and you're up like this and your weapon goes dry. Oh my God, how am I going to reload? Ah! 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 Bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Unlike those people out there who really like that magazine reloading operation, I don't have an army behind me with a whole logistics section that's going to supply me with new AK magazines. And, well, if it's important enough for your life, when your gun goes dry, you can go back and get it. If not, it won't matter. Yeah, so, you know, here. You're up here, you're shooting bad guys, and all of a sudden, click, that horrible sound. Yeah, just do that. If it's important, right? Your fastest reload is transition to your secondary weapon. I'm saving my magazines, but it still works with that for those of you who want to be, you know, really cool doing that. I don't. And, you know, maybe someday I'll do a video on how Pastor Joe operates an AK, but that day is not today. All right, so there's one right there. Number 2 is the sling. It's a normal AK sling. You know, it hooks on up here, it makes noise. But what I did is I tied this 550 cord around it so I could move it up here. No, I didn't buy some single point sling release thing, you know, whatever. I used to do this when I was in SF, because when I was in SF in the old days, we didn't have all the cool tactical gear. We had to kind of make do. And so I did something like this with my M4 with 550 cord. And, you know, it works for me. I like my firearms to hang here when I'm not using them. You know, like I said, I can transition fast this way. And if you need to get the weapon on your back, you just stick your arm through and whoop, and it's on your back, right? This sling is set, the length of it is set for lighter clothing. If I was going to be wearing this with, you know, heavy, bulky winter clothing, I'd have to extend it, but there's room to do that, and I could do that. So the button is 1, the sling is 2. Let me show you something else. Front sight. I call this poor man's tritium, poor man's night sights, that kind of thing. I've done a blog post on it before. I paint this white right here, and it really brings it out, even at night when you're walking around in the dark. When you bring this up, you can see where that is, so you can get your left or right, your up or down in gross proportions, unless it's just like a super pitch dark night. One thing I have not experimented with is putting some of that, probably gluing some of that luminous tape on there, that might work. Okay, I haven't tried that. I make it white around the ears, you know, the protectors there. Can you see that? Because I use the Caveman EOTech, you know, just bring it up, put it on, and meat on metal. I learned that from Gabe Suarez, and that works good for me. On all my ARs, my front sight post is now yellow or lime green. I use acrylic paint because, as you can see, if somebody was out here today in overwhites, that white front sight post might not work. But if you're in anywhere other than where people are wearing a lot of white, that'll work. As far as the yellow goes, you know, the yellow and lime green that I have my ARs painted with, I really don't plan on fighting the insane clown posse. Fighting clowns, you know, crazy scary clowns who are wearing yellow and lime green. Most people don't wear that. And so those colors come up really fast when you see them. So I do that. I paint that. So that's a couple. Another thing I do, when I first got this, the selector lever here was a little tight, and they have been on other AKs that I've used in the past, and so I just grab it and pull it out a little bit until it's a little bit looser, and it goes a lot easier now. People say AKs aren't ergonomic. They're just ergonomic. They're fine, right? You can do that. You're not supposed to click, 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 click with your safety anyway. When you're fighting, fight. When you're done fighting, put it on safe, right? And as far as lefties go, I guess I got to stand this way because I run primarily left-handed. You can walk around like this and you can just click it off and then go to work, right? Click it back on. No big deal. But I loosen that up, and then I may have given you the secret already. I didn't intend to on this video, but I'm not shooting it again. The one secret that you have to do if you're a true operator of AKs, because all true operators know it, is you need a decal. You need a decal, at least one, on your AK so that you can express yourself, express your personality. Who are you truly? Everyone knows this. All the real operators know it. Go look at the guys in Africa rocking their AKs that are all just decorated like Indians decorated their lances and bows, man. Stickers all over it. Hello Kitty will work. Kitties in space will work if you're a little bit sensitive. You can put your cool, you know, Punisher thing on there. Whatever, man. I actually did this for a Soldier of Fortune shoot. I did an article for Soldier of Fortune, had some photos in it, and I put this on there as kind of like subliminal advertising for Viking preparedness. So there you go, the sling, the selector lever, the magazine release, and the sights. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course the all-important decal. All right, hey, I hope that was useful. Seriously, you guys, instead of spending money on toys, on gear, on accessorizing your weapons, whether that's a Glock or an AK or an AR or anything, buy ammo, get to a range, and shoot your firearm. And don't just zero it. It amazes me the number of people who own firearms that aren't zeroed. It's not doing you a lot of good if it's not zeroed. Zero your firearm. You can do that from a bench, from prone, whatever. You can occasionally shoot from there, but do you really picture yourself having to employ a weapon like this from a nice seated, safe position with your sandbags and your little butt sandbag and, okay, I'm just gonna, No, man. You're gonna be fighting with this thing. And so you need to learn how to use this accurately in those positions. You know, going out there, you can bump fire an AK, man. Do, 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 do. You're making noise. You know, I would rather if you learned how to go do, 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 and actually hit targets every time you pull the trigger. And I guess as long as I'm on it, you know, how accurate do you have to be? Our standard with Viking preparedness and with Shofar Mountain is a paper plate. It's very simple. And I think I probably got that from something Jeff Cooper wrote. I think. I'm not sure. But, you know, a paper plate, whether it's at 3 feet or at 300 yards, that's a good-sized target to aim for because we're talking about shooting bad guys, right? And so if you're hitting the paper plate consistently, you're good. If you're drilling the center out of that paper plate, you probably need to speed up. If you're missing the paper plate, you need to slow down or get to work on your fundamentals, right? And so that's what we use. Hit your target. But instead of spending money on toys, go out there and spend money on ammo. Start shooting. Get good while you can. All right, I'll see you out there.